Hey guys, what's up? Thank you for clicking on the video. As you read in the title, I lived abroad for 2 years. I lived in the Philippines, and this video is going to be about the top 5 things I learned from living abroad. I had an amazing time, learned about different culture, different things, so let's get right into it. So the first thing I learned when I lived in the Philippines was that Filipinos actually speak like 3 languages normally. So they speak English and Tagalog, which they learned in school, and also they normally have a different dialect. Like where we lived, there was a dialect called Ilocano, and they have 120 to 187 different languages in the Philippines in different dialects, and they're super talented. And plus, a lot of them go and work abroad. Like they'll go work in the Middle East, or they'll work in Korea or China, and then they'll learn a different language. So normally, like a lot of the Filipinos I met knew like 4 different languages, 4 or 5 different languages. They're really talented. It's like really crazy, because like, yeah, in America I feel like most people normally speak English, maybe like Spanish, maybe sometimes. But yeah, because when I was going over to the Philippines, I thought that everyone was just gonna speak straight Filipino, Tagalog. But then I went there, and there was like so many different languages and dialects. It was pretty crazy, and Filipinos are actually really good at English. So when I was learning how to speak the different language, learning how to speak Tagalog and Ilocano, I could ask them in English, and they'd actually help me out a lot. So it was pretty cool. That's the first thing I learned about living in the Philippines. So the second thing I learned was that the exchange rate in the Philippines for money is actually super cheap. Like, so $1 US is about 50 pesos. So in the long run, that adds up a lot. Like if you had like 20 bucks, that's like 1,000 pesos, and you can buy like food for like a whole week or even more with just that much, and like travel like from Manila to like the top of the main island for around like 1,000 pesos. There's not even that, like 600 or like 600 pesos around there. And so then that stuff is actually really cheap in the Philippines, and it surprised me. I knew it was gonna be cheap, but I didn't think it was gonna be that cheap. Like I felt like I was rich. I felt like I was like drowning in the money. I was like, it felt really cool. Yeah, it felt really good. Like I was surprised on how much my money lasted when I was there. So yeah, that's the second thing I learned. Everything is really cheap in the Philippines if you ever go there. So let's move on to the third thing. The third thing that I learned about living in the Philippines was that Filipinos love to sing. Okay, every night and like on every street we'd see people have like these karaoke machines, and like they'd be singing and stuff, and like it was so loud. Like they had these giant speakers, like we could barely sleep in our house at night sometimes because it was just so loud. But for like lots of like birthday parties or weddings or just an event, they always have like a karaoke machine, which is really weird because I've never seen like a karaoke machine here in America. But they go crazy on the karaoke machine, and like most Filipinos are pretty good singers. Like fun fact, like Bruno Mars, he's one of my favorite singers. He's actually part Filipino, and so that just proves that Filipinos can sing really good. But yeah, that's the third thing. Filipinos love karaoke. So if you ever meet a Filipino, ask them if they can sing really good, and I guarantee you, most of them can sing pretty good. So let's go on to the fourth thing. So this one's really weird. In the Philippines, Filipinos like really are obsessed about noses. Like, yes, like the nose. Like they would always comment on my nose and be like, "Oh, we love your nose. Your nose is so big." And like it's like really weird. Like in America, I never even like, no one's ever said that to me, like worried about nose, but people are always telling us about like how the Filipino nose is so flat, and it was just really different. Like it was super weird, and like now I wouldn't have thought that that's something that people would worry about. But in the Philippines, yeah, they like obsessed about noses. They have like 2 different words for it. It's like right here. This is like long nose, and this is like flat nose. It's like super weird. But yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, Filipinos are like love noses. That's the fourth thing. The fifth and final thing that I experienced when I was in the Philippines from living abroad was that most of the time Filipinos are outside their house, and like they don't really have doors. Like I didn't see like the doors. Like their doors are always open, and like most of the time they're all like chilling outside on chairs. They're just like doing stuff all outside, and it's like it might just be because it's really hot, and it's hot inside of a house if they don't have air conditioning, because many houses don't have air conditioning. But that was really like weird. Like, but it's kind of cool because we were walking around and like we talked to everybody outside, and Filipinos are super kind and super sweet. So that was really cool. Oh, and another thing is like all the Filipinos like know each other. Like everywhere you go, like they all know like their neighbors, and like everybody that lives in like a little town, like a big town. It's like decently big town. Like everyone knows each other. It's super like interesting. Like I don't even know who my neighbors are, but like they know everyone like by their name, their cousins, their kids. Like it's really amazing. Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff when I was living abroad, but that one was pretty cool. Like how everybody knows each other, and like the culture is so different. But yeah, these are the top 5 things I learned from living abroad. If you ever lived abroad, or if you have anything else you've heard about Filipinos, comment down below. And if you like the video, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. I love all the people that follow me. I got like 166 right now. We're gonna grow every day. But thank you for watching. Please leave a like. Message me on my social medias. And we're out. Deuces.